Hi, I'm Sam and I am Frugal Farmhouse here on YouTube, a relatively new channel that is dedicated to finding healthy, delicious, cheap, and relatively easy meals to make that you can freeze and meals that stretch your dollar and stretch your budget. With inflation and food costs rising and going through the roof, it's really troubling and difficult for small families, large families to be making the most out of their dollar when it comes to grocery shopping. So something that I'm really passionate about is cooking, as well as stretching your dollar, and having frugal, healthy recipes is one way to do that. I love to cook. My husband is Jamaican and he loves to cook a lot of different Jamaican-inspired or just Jamaican dishes in general. I cook a little bit of a Jamaican-inspired cuisine as well because I've been, with him for a very long time, and I'm always adding scotch bonnet to my recipes, and usually a little bit too much scotch bonnet. So if you're someone who likes a little bit of, or a lot of bit of flavor and a little bit of spice in your home cooking, this is the channel to be following because that is exactly what we cook here in our home. In this video, I have 3 separate recipes. One is a breakfast hash served over easy eggs. That's really freezable. It's perfect for making single servings, throwing it in the freezer, frying up an egg, and putting a simple breakfast together if you're on the go, or for yourself if you're heading to work and you want something that you can easily heat. This is really great and it's very cheap. The second is a Caribbean style, Jamaican style stewing beef. Slow cooked beef in a gravy sauce with carrots, dumplings, potatoes, vegetables, and served over rice. Again, very freezable and can be extended because of the heartiness of the dumplings, the potatoes, the rice, a lot of those filling agents that really help to create a meal that can be served multiple times. Make a big pot of it and you've got food for the week, if not for future weeks. And then the third is just a really simple pasta that I quickly cooked up using chicken and vegetables, tomatoes, and cream. Pasta is one of those dishes that you can always get so much bang for your buck when you're making pasta. The heartiness of pasta mixed with the simplicity of a tomato-based sauce or a cream-based sauce, with your protein being chicken, shrimp, pulled pork, whatever you might have on hand. You're getting, again, a really delicious, relatively healthy meal. I mean, butter, cream, that's up for debate, but I think it's relatively healthy. And you're able to really stretch a pasta meal for a larger family or for future freezer meals. So I really hope you enjoy these quick recipes. If you have any questions, comments, or if you decide to try to make one of these recipes yourself, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll be uploading more recipe related content. I hope you enjoy this, and thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, so I'm gonna make a dish called, I have no idea. It's something that my husband, who's Jamaican, makes all the time. Not all the time, but once in a while. And it's basically like a beef stew. Not a stew, it's just stewing beef with, like in a browning sauce with vegetables, onions, garlic, tomatoes, peppers, and dumpling. So I'm gonna go ahead, chop up my vegetables, chop up my beef, season it, and start to sear my beef, and I will show you the journey as you come along. So let's go. Okay, so in here I have my stewing beef with salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, just regular all-purpose seasoning, Worcestershire sauce, browning sauce. I think that's it. Can't quite remember. Then over here I have my tomatoes, I have my yellow pepper, I have my onions, I have my garlic, and I have some scallion here that I'm going to dice up. Gonna get that going, gonna sear this beef, then add in my vegetables, aromatics type situation, add some beef stock. Over here, I have started my dumpling dough. So this is just flour, salt, and water, and I'm going to roll this out into little dumplings and add that in as well. And yeah, we are starting to come along here. Okay, so here we have our stewing beef coming together. I added that extra liquid. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my minced garlic, my onions, these tomatoes, and my yellow peppers. Now I have to chop up my scallion and add that as well. I'm gonna let this continue. It's at a medium heat right now. You can see it's just starting to boil along here. I'm gonna let that continue at this heat just as this cooks down a little bit. All the flavors will be sort of infused into the vegetables. There we go. Okay, now we have our scallion and we have some cut up scotch bonnet pepper. Gonna go ahead and add in the heat and the flavor and then give it a stir. Look how pretty that looks. All the colors just marinating. The flavors are infusing. It smells so good. It's the one thing about YouTube. You can't actually see. Sorry, you can see, you cannot smell. I have 1 beef bouillon cube in here. I'm gonna add 2 cups of water. I'm gonna do one just like this, and I'm not gonna go ahead and break up the bouillon cube because it's gonna boil away into nothing. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pour 1 more cup of water and add it into, do you remember this beef dish here? See that goodness? That's called seasoning and salt and yummy flavors. So I am going to grab that, throw in my water, give it a little swoosh just to get all the beef juices all used up. Don't like to waste anything. See, look at that color. Look at that color. And then just add it like so. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go grab some potatoes and we're going to allow this to continue to boil, add in our potatoes, and we're getting somewhere. Okay, so we are going to add, I have cut up 1 whole potato. I took some of the skin off of it, but not all of it because, well, there's a lot of nutrients in the skin and I'm also just kind of lazy. And then now I'm going to go ahead and add in my dumplings after this comes to a boil. So as soon as this kind of comes to a bit of a rolling boil, throw in my dumplings and then just let this really start to simmer and cook down. Okay, so let me show you what's going on in here. I have added my spinners, basically these dough dumplings. They're not the prettiest. I'm not the best at making dumplings, but they will do. Now, the one thing I really love about meals like this is that this is going to be served over rice, right? But I've added potatoes in here. Potatoes are filling. I have added flour dumplings. Flour dumplings are filling. This meal is going to turn into this meal together with the beef. Okay, $10 was approximately the cost of the beef. Then you add in your flour, your few bits of onions, tomatoes, peppers. Say maximum $12 for this meal. How many meals am I going to be able to make out of this? 6, 7, 8 potentially. I can freeze a lot of this as well. Great freezer meal. But this is a great example of stretching your food because the filling agents in here, like the flour dumplings, like the potatoes, like your beef, over rice served with, I don't know, maybe some garlic bread, maybe some, toast on the side, you're going to be able to get a lot of meals out of something like this. So while the initial cost of this, the beef being the most expensive portion, it's going to come back. So we're going to cover this. I'm probably going to add more dumplings than just this, but I kind of want to see where we're going to be at in about 15 minutes. Okay, I forgot to add carrots. So I'm going to go ahead now and add in, I don't have any regular carrots. I have these baby carrots, which I typically don't buy, but they were 50% off in the reduced section. So I thought, you know what, I need carrots. I'm gonna go ahead and add these carrots into our beef stew. Another thing that I remembered that I also don't have right now, I do, but it's growing, is thyme. I have fresh thyme growing in the garden, but I have used it all right now. So it's needing to take its time to grow back. But this is pretty much our end result. I'm gonna let this cook down probably for about an hour till that beef gets really soft and tender. So yeah. All right, we have got some dumplings boiling away and we got our beef working. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is pretty much done. We have over here our bowl of rice and a fried dumpling right there. Gonna pour this beef stew over top and we have dinner. Okay, next meal that we are doing is going to be a breakfast hash. Basically, potato, vegetables, and sausage seared up over a fried egg. So I will show you what we're doing. So I boiled about 5 or 6 potatoes and now I have them, I let them cool, put them in the fridge for a couple hours, and now I have them frying up just with some coconut oil. Okay, so we have added my onions and my green pepper, and you can see we're getting a nice fry on the bottom of this. So I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. I don't want to burn it, but we wanna cook down the onion, the green pepper, and the garlic. A generous amount of salt because, you know, these are potatoes. Can't have too much salt when it comes to potatoes. I'm going to add, same thing for the pepper. A good amount of pepper here. Now I really like to do cayenne, or sorry, paprika. So I'm gonna give it a good amount of paprika. Like really just season it up there with the paprika. And give it a stir because you can see we are crisping on the bottom of this. We do not want it to burn. But we are not done with the seasoning quite yet, so just give it a stir. You don't want to turn this into mashed potatoes, so I'm just trying to be selective in how often I am stirring. We are going to do, you know what, I have a bit of this like homemade smoke seasoning. It's just a mixture of all the yummy smoky goodness of different flavors. I'm gonna add some of that because it has like my garlic powder, my onion powder, my paprika. Ooh, smells strong. Okay, I'm gonna add just a few of these little cherry tomatoes and some scallion. Cherry tomatoes don't really go in hash, and I don't usually put them in, but I have a lot of cherry tomatoes I'm trying to use, and they'll kind of cook down. Especially now that, you know, we really browned this, we've got to the bottom of it. So we're looking good. If I had thyme, I would be adding a few sprigs of thyme, but again, my thyme is still growing in my garden. I've used a lot of it and waiting for it to rejuvenate. Okay, and this is just some pre-cooked sausage. I had previously fried this up when I made a batch of it last time. So I'm just gonna go ahead, add that in, and turn it all the way down. It's already cooked. So this is really going to be a breakfast meal for my husband and myself this week. What I'd like to do for my husband is put this into a glass container for him, and then in the morning or the day before I will just fry an egg and he can take that to work. And this is quite tasty with an egg just fried right on top of it. It's a great little breakfast meal. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's the next morning and I wanted to show exactly how I go about finishing off this hash. So I have fried up 2 eggs. I'm gonna throw on some pepper, no salt, because I already have salt in the hash, and I'm going to fry these up, do them over medium. I like them over easy. My husband likes them over medium. And I'm gonna throw it on top to show what his lunch will be like, or his breakfast will be like for tomorrow, and what mine will be like for today. Okay, so this is his lunch for tomorrow. I did his over easy because I'm putting it in the fridge. I'm gonna let it cool and then put it in the fridge, and it will harden in the fridge slightly. So his is over easy. This is my breakfast for this morning. Nice fried up hash browns here, and just over easy. You can just look at that goodness. That will just fall right over and be quite delicious to eat as a very easy breakfast meal to reheat, and very affordable. Obviously, it made a ton. The chorizo sausage I got on sale for 50% off, so it came to be about $3.50. The potatoes, literally, we're talking, I get a 50-pound bag for $10. And then some of the seasoning, but really this is a very, very cost-effective meal that you can stretch. And this freezes super, super well. So again, another excellent freezer meal. You could pre-package it, throw it in single servings, put it in the freezer, take it out, fry an egg, and you've got a very simple, easy, healthy breakfast. So I'm going to be making a chicken pasta today. I don't know what exactly I'm going to be doing in terms of how I'm going to be making it, but it will be pasta and it will have chicken in it, and it will be a relatively healthy-ish meal that will involve cream. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm dealing with this chicken here, 2 chicken breasts, lightly seasoned with salt, pepper, and some Johnny's garlic spread seasoning. I'm cutting up, I have some scotch bonnet pepper, a bunch of red onion. I'm going to cut up some of these garlic, what are these called again? I can't remember. Garlic stuck to the nest. Some tomatoes, some bell peppers, Parmesan, and more tomatoes, and fry all that up and get this going. Okay, so I'm going to add some butter to this pan to kind of get it going here. Not a lot, just a little bit, and maybe a little bit of olive oil as well. Do a little dash of olive oil, a little bit more. Okay, so we're going to add our red onions, our garlic scapes, and scotch bonnet pepper to the pan. Get off a little bit of goodness there. I've got some granulated garlic. Going to add that in now, as well as some onion powder. And this is kind of like an Italian herb mixture. Give that a good shake. Okay, now I'm going to add my tomatoes. I have whole plum tomatoes that I cut up, as well as cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to try to sort of make it into, like, cook the tomatoes down, create a bit of a sauce. Okay, that's the first round of tomatoes. Let this kind of cook down a little bit. I could even cover this and kind of let it go. Okay, so this is coming along really nicely now. We're starting to thicken up here. I'm gonna go ahead and add some Parmesan cheese. Sorry, my baby's screaming in the background. Going to add some shredded Parmigiano Reggiano and get this all in there, and that'll also help to kind of create a thicker consistency. And don't do that.
Okay, so now we're going to be putting in some of the pasta water into the dish here. All right, and now we're going to be adding in our noodles. There we go. And there you go.